Welcome to the SEO.co Search Engine Optimization Podcast. Digital marketing essentials and next level tactics. From offsite and on-site optimization to persuasive selling and everything in between. You'll learn actionable tips on what it takes to outright and outrank your competition. Now, here's your host, Nate Need.
Thanks for joining us again on another episode of the SEO podcast. Today we are going to be discussing and talking a little bit about the difference between link building services and link building outreach. And there are nuanced differences, and why not talk about them here? When it comes to building links and acquiring links to your website, there are no shortage of strategies. We have an exhaustive list of 77. I've seen lists as long as 200. A lot of the lists that are longer than our 77 list are somewhat quite redundant in the types and ways that you can, and strategies that you can implement to build links to your website. And the kind of old method of link building or link building services involved the use of something called a private blog network, which we do not advocate for, particularly when it comes to direct links to your site, and even secondary or tertiary links. We tend to shy away from that as well. But the old model and the kind of traditional model was a little bit more of who you know. Who do you have access to? Where do you know authors on particular publications, especially if you're looking to get something with a higher domain authority, page rank, you want high link juice, whatever terminology you're using to get and acquire those types of links. It was all about the linkerati, or in other words, the internal, who folks that are on the inside that have access to these high authority sites. And these could be authors. You could have connections to authors, and you're going to build those connections over time if you really are an in-house SEO, or even outside working from the outside, building those links. And so these are all critical components for kind of the traditional method, and something that was, I would say, kind of 2008 onward, and even past that, that's still a used component of search engine optimization. Today's model is much more about relevance, and that's where the link building outreach component comes in. And with link building outreach, it's a self-descriptive term. It's we're creating a piece of content, and this is not broken link building, which requires outreach, but this is really grassroots, boots on the ground. You create a piece of content, and then you just go out to find 100% relevant sites. I don't really, when I'm doing link building outreach, when our team is doing it in particular, we're not talking about link building outreach that does not involve or that involves sites that are necessarily really high authority. What we're talking about is sites that are all about relevance. So we go out, if we have a client that's an e-commerce business, and let's say they're selling maybe a type of mug, maybe it's personalized coffee mugs or whatever it might be, and we go out to all these sites that are just obsessed with coffee. So coffee bloggers, people that like to talk about coffee shops, or maybe it's bloggers that work in coffee shops, or maybe it's a local, maybe it's someone who's not Starbucks, maybe it's someone who owns a coffee shop that you have more access to from a webmaster side of things, where you can actually promote and get some pieces of content that link back to your article, whatever the case may be. It's all about relevance, regardless of domain authority. So that has a much more rapid impact on you ranking for the keywords that you want, because you're getting the links from relevant sites. And so that link building, that type of link building, really is all about outreach. So when you're doing that kind of outreach, it's there's a process involved. It's very much a slog. But it's the new way, and it's the only way to do it in a what I would call a natural pattern, where you're building links in a way that your link profile not only looks natural, but relevance is natural. Links is 90% about relevance. I mean, if you've got if you're linking to, say, that coffee shop from a site that sells sneakers, I mean, how relevant is that? And completely not even in the same ballpark. So, when we perform our link building outreach, we work to do it at scale to find you kind of really curated site lists that really match what your audience would want to see and what the audience on the sites you're getting the links from. So thanks for joining us.
Thank you for joining us on the SEO.co podcast. We appreciate your time. Be sure to rate, review, and subscribe to the show, and visit SEO.co for more resources based on today's topic, as well as access to more podcast episodes to help you improve your site's long-term SEO success.